o'clock in the morning, and we're forced to work straight away. Apart from the mealtime breaks, we worked all day long until into the night. We could only stop when the guards told us to. Everyone had different jobs. Some worked in the fields, others in factories. Some prisoners were sent to the mines. The aim of the concentration camp was to have inmates to be constantly working as a way to repent for their sins. We worked from the moment we opened our eyes until we went to bed. In the Bible, you read about heaven and hell, and where in hell, those have to live amongst the flames. That's what the prison camp was like. Hell. It's the only way I can describe it.
这凶手是一只蛮多其中耶。
While living in the camp, there was a rule that we had to report on any wrongdoings, even if it were to be by your family members or friends. One time, I overheard my mother and brother talking about escape, and I later reported it, as I felt it was part of my duty at the time. Until then, I called them as mother and brother, but I didn't really have any special feelings of kinship or compassion or the concept of family. Later, both my mother and brother were publicly executed because of me, and I had to witness their deaths in front of lots of people. After coming to South Korea, as I began to learn how to live a normal life, as I started to become more like an ordinary person, the guilt overwhelmed me of what I did to my family. I'm constantly faced with the burden and trauma. It's really hard to live with the guilt hanging over me.
사실 뭐 제가 이런
I was destined to live and die in the camp. It wasn't like I escaped to seek freedom because I had no concept of freedom to begin with. I just wanted to try and have a taste of normal food, what people in the outside ate, to be able to have a full stomach. I wanted to do this even if I got caught and to be shot to death or to be beaten to death. I just wanted to eat properly. That's why I tried to escape. It wasn't easy, and in the process, a fellow inmate who ran next to me died when he got electrocuted by the perimeter fence, and my skin got burnt as well. Most inmates don't even consider escaping. They just accept it as their fate of living inside the camp for their entire lives. If I hadn't learned of what life was like outside the camp and heard about the food they ate, I wouldn't be here to talk about my experiences in the prison camp because I would still be there.
Good morning to all my fellow Americans. That's communism. I'm going to go and stop all the formalities the way I start the web streaming. I just wanted to go to these videos. It's going to take some time, and I just want to go through it. And then if I have time, I'll send a salute. But a salute to everybody, all veterans of all organizations. So let me go to the next video. You know, I just want to show what's happening. This is a person who escaped the prison of North Korea, the gulags of North Korea. It's an experience, and there's more about that because I've heard him in other videos. The same person, I've heard him in other videos a little bit longer. You know, the guy was traumatized. Let me go to the videos I want to put down there. There was a lot of videos that I posted. This one here that's great from Ben Carson. I want to see if I put that one down. But this one here of a political leader, Vern, I think the name is Vern, who was persecuted by rioters in Washington. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, here I found it. BLM protesters accost Vernon Jones. It's not Vern, it's Vernon Jones in D.C. I want you to see this. This is the type of people we're dealing with. These are communist rioters. They're going to do the same thing, if not Islamic rioters, also included. These are terrorists and extreme, from the extreme right. Don't doubt that they're included in there too, because they follow the same precepts which Adolf Hitler created, which is the National Socialist Party, which was from the extreme right, but it was stealing from those who were innocent, like the Jews and many other ethnic groups, the Gypsies, who they stole from them in order to create wealth, illegal wealth, just like the Democrats are doing by selling us to foreign entities like China and many other countries, like Ukraine, just like Joe Biden and Pelosi and all these, including Republicans that have sold themselves to the devil. Like, well, let me see if I can, I don't remember his name right now, but you know who I'm talking about. There's a couple of them, not just one. He was running for president. Thank God he didn't win, because he showed his true colors. So let me put this video down where Vernon Jones is accosted by protesters. This is the same thing they're going to do. They're not saying that they will do. They're just lying to you. But once they're in power, they will do the same thing that has destroyed Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, North Korea, and China. The only thing good about China is that they opened up to free marketing. But this brutal communist oppression in China, you could wind up as somebody's dinner. Yeah, because they're cutting up parts of prisoners who are executed or die or whatever, or who are executed by one means or another, and they'll send them as body parts to the supermarket. That's happening in China. If you want to wind up like that, well, keep it up. Keep it up. Better be careful what you wish for. Watch this with your own eyes.
What is your position? What is your position?
There you go. If it wasn't because of the security force that escorted him to his hotel, he would have been beaten down, or maybe killed. That's what happens to you when you defend the truth. You get accosted by these communist, Islamic, ultra-right terrorists. Look what they're doing. Donald Trump is going to have to send the National Guard in there and just bash heads in without pity. And let the Democrats spew hate or whatever they want to spew. But just put these people, have the respect They're lacking respect. So let's put the fear in them. The fear of God in these animals that are taking over our streets. Wow, that's what we're dealing with. These are communist, Islamic, and ultra-right agitators and terrorists. That's what they are. That's all they are. Now I'm going to put another video of Ben Carson. And you can see what he has to say about what's happening. Okay, so here I go. Listen to this.
Good evening. I'm Ben.
Let me say before,
Good evening. I'm Ben Carson, a retired neurosurgeon.
I'm going to leave with this last video. So Donald Trump, I always pray for you and your family, that God protect you always, always. And my blessings, always I pray for you, believe it or not. And also to Mike Pence, I always pray for you and your family. God bless you. And God, may God protect you. And God bless our country eternally. And I stand with God and Israel eternally. So God bless you all. And America, don't forget to vote for Trump 2020. In the state of Florida, don't forget to vote for Maria Elvira Salazar for Congress. She'll put a stop. She'll help to put a stop to this. And don't boycott Goya products. Let's support these products. The creator of them is a true patriot who loves this country and loves our freedom. And also, Donald Trump, let's go after the communist regime of Cuba also. It's been over 61 years. Let's freeze the accounts of the communists and pass it on to a person who loves this country. Now they've created a new political party, which is called PDP, Partido del Pueblo. Let's help them out so we can start restoring democracy in Cuba by helping them to get into power. And then, once in power, they want to celebrate new elections, but without communism, without Islamism, and without fascism. God bless you all. See you soon.
Good evening. I'm Ben Carson, a retired neurosurgeon and a public servant. Before I begin, I'd like to say that our hearts go out to the Blake family and the other families who've been impacted by the tragic events in Kenosha. As Jacob's mother has urged the country, let's use our hearts, our love, and our intelligence to work together to show the rest of the world how humans are supposed to treat each other. today. We have a choice. Do we want big government that controls our lives from cradle to grave? Or do we believe in the power and wisdom of the people and their ability to self-govern with help from a limited federal government? Our president, Donald J. Trump, believes in the people. He is one of us. He makes promises and he keeps them. He is transparent, and we certainly know what he's thinking. He does not submit to political correctness or to its enforcers, the media. He is real. Right now, we need real. We need courage. We can't cower in the corner and hope that no one calls us a name, believing that will keep us safe. That is not courage, and that will not lead us to a good and just place. We must remember all those who sacrificed everything in order to give us freedom, and we must be willing to do the same for those who come after us. President Trump does not dabble in identity politics. He wants everyone to succeed and believes in the adage, a rising tide lifts all boats. Many on the other side love to incite division by claiming that President Trump is a racist. They could not be more wrong. Years ago, Jesse Jackson gave Donald Trump an award for the economic opportunities he created for black people. In Palm Beach, Florida, Donald Trump led the crusade to allow blacks and Jews into private clubs and resorts. One of the first things he did as president was bring the Office of Historically Black Colleges and Universities into the White House so that it could get proper attention and financial support. Before the pandemic, African American unemployment was at an all-time low. President Trump accomplished prison reform. He created incentives to encourage investors to become involved with economically deprived areas of America. He strongly supports school choice, fully recognizing that no matter what circumstances a person is born into, they can achieve success with a good education. It was true for me. When my mother forced me to read books about doctors, entrepreneurs, inventors, and scientists, I began to recognize that the person who has the most to do with what happens to you in life is you. My mother always told me, Ben, you can do anything, but I will never allow you to become a victim. It was then that I stopped listening to the people who were trying to convince me that I was a victim and that others were responsible for my victimhood. What is racist is the fact that African Americans have the highest abortion rate. President Trump is the most pro-life president in the country's history. He will continue to fight for those who cannot yet speak. The vision of a shining